And back live from Carrabba's Italian Grill at the Fayetteville Town Center. It's Gomez from TK99 and TK105, along with head coach Adrian Autry. And welcome to those joining us here on QSportsTalk.com. If you have any questions for Red, you can put them into the stream chat here, again at the QSportsTalk.com, and we'll get to as many as we can throughout the course of the night. Coach, good to see you. Happy New Year. It's our first 8 o'clock get-together here to the Carrabba's.
Happy New Year. It's good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. And a good holiday. You were saying before the family was in town, everybody was in town, and you had a good...
Yeah, we had all the kids in town. That's a rarity. So that was good. Spending time with the family, during the holidays, especially Christmas. When they get older, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They come back home. That's a feat right there. That's hard to do.
Oh, well, that's good then. So everybody got together, and I know we were talking to JJ earlier, but you did have practice on Christmas Day, right?
Christmas night.
Christmas night.
Get together.
Yeah, get together. So it was like a practice.
Yeah, it was a practice. It was a practice. We had a game in 2 days, so we needed to get back and get back to work.
Again, we're on again. Welcome to those joining us here on the QSportsTalk.com. If you want to chime in and say hi, you can feel free to do that. And aside from that, we'll get right to, missed a couple of games there, Coach. The Bucknell game, you guys came out a lot of energy, a lot of intensity, and it's easy, from this side to say, why is it hard to duplicate that? But it is.
Yeah.
Come out with that kind of intensity.
Yeah, different. We just got back from break, and obviously, you want that the whole time. But that's what we want every day. Every game to come out with that type of energy and intensity. And again, then when you play the conference play, obviously, the competition is a little bit different. We got a slow start, which we've had some slow starts this whole year, so we got to figure that one out.
I heard you and Matt talking on the way in about the JJ. Obviously, still being able to get into some of the practices and work out a little bit, but being able to take in the games on the sideline and then chime in maybe at times when he can. But is he the kind of guy that you see down the road maybe someday as a coach?
No, I don't see that. No, I don't think so. But I don't think so. But
not in his DNA. Just he's a passionate basketball fan.
JJ has a lot of interest. Actually, all of these young athletes and these young men and young athletes, male and female, they have a lot of interest now, and it's good to see. They can do multiple things, so different interests. So that's good. Well-rounded people, well-rounded young people.
And how is I'm sure you get the question every day at this point, but how is that wrist coming along?
It's coming along. It's good. I think he's made some improvements. Everything is so far, been good. No setbacks. Like I said, he's with us. He's doing some things. So, I think, very soon, he should be back with the team.
And then on to the Wake Forest game, and obviously the way the game started, Coach. I think it speaks to the kids. The way I think it was 18-2 at one point,
yeah.
And then but they fought back, got back into it, and then were able to come back and make a game of it. So that kind of speaks to what they are made of, and to you and the coaching, and to get them back into the game like that.
Yeah, you don't want to start off, and we've had multiple games starting off like that. But I thought, our guys stayed with it. They stayed focused. And they have done that the whole year. And fought back. We've had slow starts. Even when we went down to New York, the first time down in New York, we had a slow start, battle back, been able to get back, and then obviously take the lead for a minute or two. So the guys have shown that they've shown some resilience, but we just got to, we can't keep, doing that, spotting teams, so to speak. But I thought, in particular, the Wake Forest game, I thought Cal Cuff and Lucas Taylor came off the bench and gave us a big boost, and it was a big part of that run and that comeback.
From the stream chat again, welcome to those who are joining us here on video. If you want to chime in and say hi, question here for you, Coach. What in your mind is the biggest difference between this year's roster and last year's, on the court, locker room, off the court, etc.?
I think, last year we were probably, they probably had a little bit more continuity because it was a big class and those guys all knew each other. So I thought last year we hit the ground kind of running a little bit, and I think with this year's team, I think when you add new faces and new pieces and try to get the team to gel, I think that takes some time. I think the biggest thing was the first 3 games of the season was like everybody trying to it was the first time like you've been practicing, now you're in that ring. And you right there now, someone else is swinging back, and you're trying to make those adjustments. So I think the continuity piece is a big difference, and then from a basketball stylistic standpoint, I think last year's team, they were we were a little undersized, so I thought we were a little bit quicker. As a team, like we still have quick guys, but overall, our team speed was a little bit quicker last year.
And is it harder, Coach, just in this era with the portal and guys can come and go? And every year, it's pretty much a new team that you're looking at, and every coach, not just for you, but for guys to develop chemistry and to get to that level. Does it take longer into the season for that to happen?
I think yes. I think you see that, all around the college basketball. The teams, with these slow starts and trying to figure it out, and it's not because of a coach. Is just the chemistry piece. Really, it's just really trying to, and even the coaches are still trying to figure out and put what you have and what you don't have, what mix of guys to play with. You're always thinking about how to put every one of your players in the best situation, and I think sometimes when you got new teams and new players, you're coaching them for the first time in a real game, not practice, but in a real game, and we all know practice and games are different.
And you obviously get a chance to see the guys in practice, and we don't. So if you're making a substitution or a change, there's a reason for it.
Absolutely.
The rest of us aren't privy to.
I always say this: the coaches know their teams better than anybody else. We spend more time with our guys than obviously our fans get a chance to see. So again, the coach's job is always trying to put everybody in the right situation to get the team to function as one.
Question here from the stream chat of QSportsTalk.com. It says, Happy New Year, Matt says, and then how come the guys, when they walk into the dome, are not wearing Cuse gear? It seems like they're all sporting their own outfits. Is that a
that's new. It's new. I think the sport has grown. I think everyone has grown to express. That's a part of kind of expressing their fashion. I'm just happy that they're at the game. Just happy that they come to practice. But some people, do it differently. I think it's a chance for them to express themselves and express their fashion. Fashion is a big thing. Fashion, I know fashion and sports kind of go hand in hand a little bit, just like music.
Yeah, that's great. And then I'm sure, how many years ago was it that the coaches were wearing suits and then weren't?
Right.
And then every coach that I've talked to, probably you, really likes that change.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing. If it was one thing, coming from COVID, was the relaxed outfits, for the coaches.
Is that what started it? Is that happened during it? Did coaches have a chance to vote on that at some point?
I think people talked about it. I know some conferences, it was a topic of discussion of, hey, what are we going to do this year? Guys wearing suits, and I think at some point, every coach kind of makes their own decision what they want to do. I know some coaches are still wearing, wearing suits, and some are not.
This question here, Coach, how was it having Cayenne with you guys last weekend?
It was good to see him at the game. Talked to him very briefly, but we're excited, for him, and he's excited. And again, he still has some more high school season to finish up. So, it's always good to see him. He's a very intelligent and charismatic young man, and he knows the game, and he's so different from his dad. And I think people will get a chance to see that, obviously from a basketball standpoint, but just from a personality standpoint. So, but he's a talented young man.
I'm assuming that we will be seeing his dad in town more often.
Yeah, dad and mom and friends.
A given, right?
Dad, mom, and friends.
Fair enough. This is a question here for a coach. What's your recruiting strategy? Obviously, it's working with a couple of the 5 stars committed to the program to come in next year, and I guess it has to do with specific players or just the best players or athletes, the system that you're looking to play.
You try to recruit to your system. I think right now, with the way the landscape of college basketball is that you can't have a lot of freshmen, and the freshmen that you do have, they have to be able to play. Right, they got to be able to play, from a skill standpoint, and even from a, physical standpoint. So those are the things I'm looking at in freshmen, because you're going to surround them with some older guys when you go to the portal. So building a team. So again, obviously, what I want to play and how I want to play is, getting up and down, athletic, being able to. Have 4 or 5 guys out there that all can pass, dribble, and shoot, and that takes some time, and we're still working on that. But everybody bringing something, some toughness, and some athleticism.
Now, is it harder? And it's always been tough for the most part getting freshmen into the games or getting playing time or whatever the formula is. But is it even harder now because of all of that? Because the way the portal works and guys can kind of come and go almost at will.
It's different. It's just different, and I think every the game, with the college game, with all of it, it's changing now, but it just changed like that. And so what we know and what the fans and the stakeholders and have known of college basketball has just changed with literally in the last 2 or 3 or 4 years. First it was NIL, and then it became the transfer portal, and those things right now is just like, wow, it's a lot going on. So I think, again, it's changed quickly, and so you don't really get that much time anymore, right? Before you used to be like, okay, we got a good freshman class, you can build on that, and they'll come back. It's not like that anymore, And again, sometimes you go out, and no matter what, you can do all the research, all the work. You don't really know what you're getting when you go to the portal, right? And then a freshman, that they have their learning curve. So it's a lot that you got to try to put together quickly, because it's as we know, there's no patience. Everybody wants success right away. So, those are the challenges of coaches.
And you get the guys in that you want, but at some level, I'm sure it's a lot of crossing of the fingers, until you get to that first practice in that first game.
You got to go through a couple of wars, a couple of games. I think practice is good, but you don't really, your team doesn't start growing until they start competing against other teams, and they have some adversity, and they have some, they get a chance to play against some other people, and you can, that's when they really start growing.
Question here for you, Coach. Updates. I know you and Matt were talking about this in the first hour on the air, but here for the benefit of QSportsTalk.com, updates on Chance and JJ, and also they said they saw Eddie in the warm-up wearing a back brace. Is that just preventative, or
the people, those guys all getting your heat and getting your body loose and getting yourself warm. So those guys are fine. Chance is an interesting case, because just has to figure out where he's at mentally. Physically, he's been getting practicing, getting better, but like mentally, where is he at? What does he want to do? We got to figure that out with him. And then I think there was the other question?
JJ, Chance.
JJ is, I think he's close to a return. I just, I don't know a specific time. Again, he's starting to do stuff with the team, and little bit, in and out, hopping in and out of practice. So it's just a matter of time.
Now, we're joking at the top of the segment here about JJ on the sidelines, obviously observing in practice and in games. But does that help him I know it kills him to not be able to go out and play, but to observe it a little bit and to kind of pick up on some things that maybe he wouldn't be able to, or any player for that matter, when they're in the heat of the game.
Yeah, we talk I don't know.
Is it like,
yeah.
I assume like, if they had a big chart of players, the blue chips.
Well, that's what they call them, blue chip recruits. So it's like a 5-star.
Yeah.
I think back then, that was, maybe it was the book, man, the blue chips, the magazine that followed it. I know it was in regards and reference to big time basketball players, big time talent. Like not like, we would say now it's like the 100. It wasn't like the 100th best player. You're talking about like the top 10 players, top 5 players that can change your program.
Those were the true blue chip guys.
Yeah.
Question here, actually geared toward me. They want to know how much better of a drive it is to Carrabba's for your show than to Heritage Hill for the football show with Coach Fran in the snowstorm. It's better. It's Heritage Hill is up on the hill, but fortunately that's in the fall. And I think there was a question in the first hour, and you and Matt were talking about Coach Boeheim, and I know during the football show with Coach Fran, somebody had asked him about, does he have interactions with Coach? Because he still has his office here. He still shows up. And Coach Fran said he likes talking to Coach Boeheim because I think his quote was, that dude has no filter.
Yeah.
He said he just will come up and tell me like flat out. And he said, but I like that.
Right.
But like if he thinks there was a play that wasn't a good idea, he'll tell me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's we know that. We know Coach. Yep. Not one to hold his tongue, right?
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
As we look at the Florida State coming up on the weekend, Coach, and what do you see? I know you've been breaking down obviously game film, and do they still call it film? By the way, I was wondering that because it's not film anymore. It's like tape, but everybody says game film. Probably hasn't been filmed in 20 years.
No, we watch, and Florida State, is always, Linda Hamilton team. They play a bunch of guys. They long, they athletic. Defensively is really what they kind of, his teams are known for. And this is one of those teams.
This one here, Coach. Do many athletes still want to be a dual sport athlete like McNabb or Xavier Gaines and athletes similar to those guys?
No, it seems like you don't see dual athletes as much as they used to be. It seems like everyone is kind of specializing like at an early age too, of like, I'm going to play this sport, and they just kind of stick with that sport. So, I know a lot of my, I think our kids, when they grew up, they played a couple of sports until they got to choose which one they wanted. Probably, and that was probably really in high school. I know my son Trey, he played a little bit of football. He played lacrosse. He tried lacrosse. He did basketball. So, and then when he got to about ninth grade, 10th grade, you got
to pick one.
He picked one. Yeah.
And he went with it, and that's kind of what most kids do now.
Yeah, so they specialize a little bit more than it's very rare to see a two-sport athlete.
This question here, Coach, what did they want to know? What did you eat tonight here at Carrabba's?
You know what? I had the sausage lentil soup, which is, by the way,
really
phenomenal.
Awesome. I could smell it when they brought it over. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You come here, you get the sausage lentil soup and get some cheese on it. Man, oof, it's good soup.
Have you had a chance to watch any of the college football?
I've been working on my team. I've been watching my team and watching our opponents, man. I haven't had a chance to really watch it. I watched a little bit this evening of the Notre Dame game while we were doing the show. I peeked in a little bit.
This question here, Coach, did you call Bell's number at the beginning of the Wake Forest game? Just couldn't get space to get his shot off?
Yeah, we tried to get him going early. I think, he has to do a little bit better job of setting his guys up. And then, I thought, as a team, we got to do a better job of screening for him and getting him and trying to get him open to get some shots. But again, it's going to be tough for him. He's always going to have the best defender on him as of right now. But, again, I think we got to screen better for him. And there's times that we are missing him. We got to do a better job of trying to get him the ball so he can, make some shots. Again, we need, we need his shooting. I thought at the beginning of the year he was a little bit more aggressive, taking the ball to the basket and getting himself going. And so he hasn't been able to do that as of recent. So that's really what we've been missing, that production.
I know you don't have any say or much say, I'm assuming, in like what time games are, but I'm just saying on a personal note that I don't think there have been any 9 o'clock games yet. Any of those good week, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock games. They've all been like at noon and 2 and 7 and 7 and 7.
I love those games. I love those times.
And I think the only late, obviously next month when you go out to Stanford and Cal, those will be I think 11 o'clock Eastern and 10 o'clock Eastern, but. Those are, we'll be up watching and listening. How about the question 4? How's your golf game coming along, Coach? Did you have a chance to go this past year?
Not as much. I went out, but not as much as I did, a couple of years ago. And it's still terrible, and I think it's going to stay terrible.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, we'll be back here again next Thursday, back on the regular schedule. What time you guys fly out tomorrow?
1 o'clock flight tomorrow. Get down there, get situated, go over to the gym, get some, get another practice in, and then, get some rest, watch some more film, and get ready for the game on Saturday.
Well, good luck, Coach. Go Orange. We'll see you back here next week. And then Tuesday night, too, Georgia Tech. So we'll have 2 games to talk about next Thursday here at Carrabba's.
Hopefully, good stuff, right?
All right, Coach Red Autry. And thanks to Paulie here and Jordan back at the radio station and everybody joining us here on QSportsTalk.com. We'll see you again next week.